market, but in the street and between all the designs, and also like how when she first did the show, like there was just such hate taken towards it. It's like it needs it's like the groundbreaking.
It's extremely competitive.
It's very extremely competitive, and it's like almost as if even if it is beautiful, like if it's the same sort of design later on as it was in the beginning, it's just like it's completely reduced by like the time and the media can be completely subverted.
The first collection was very different. I could see how you thought they were the same.
Oh, right. So I thought they were like the same thing. Oh, okay.
But you needed to really see in comparison. Like, it looked like it was the same, but you needed to see them together.
Okay.
I've studied both collections.
They're very different.
That's how I can tell you they were different. But if you would have just seen this, you would have thought they were the same. If you've gotten in the books, and then you would know that they were different. But you're on the right track. Yes.
So basically she didn't design any collection for 15 years.
Right.
But then who kept the house running?
The House of Chanel, the atelier for years, was kept running off of the luxury leather goods, which were the handbags, and Chanel No. 5, which was the perfume.
And they just remake the same design.
And they were remaking the bags over and over again. And the bags became a craze. So, believe it or not, you can still make billions off of one design, if that design is iconic enough. It's why here in America, right now, currently, the Telfar bag is a craze. So, the Chanel No. 5, do we know the story of how it was selected? What, George, you don't know?
No, I know that I don't like the smell. I know that they don't go in order. There's like,
I actually know.
there's 5, there's 21, is there 19?
But we don't know how she selected Chanel No. 5 and how it came to be. Okay, so Gabrielle Chanel was presented a case of scents that she was to develop, right? She went like, it was a suitcase, right? I believe there were 8 to 10. The number of actual bottles is not important. Just know that there were more than 5. When the luggage was open to her, the suitcase or briefcase, she went like this. She literally waved her hand over it. She grabbed the 5th bottle. She opened the top. She smelled it. Her eyes kind of went in the back of her head. And she said, this is it. They said, you don't want to smell any of the other ones? She said, absolutely not. This is what I want. And they said, well, what are you going to call it? It was the 5th bottle, so she decided to name it No. 5. And she said, it shall be called Chanel No. 5. And it became a craze. In the 50s, it had a resurgence when Marilyn Monroe, the American actress, who at that point was the Kim Kardashian of the generation, said that when an American journalist asked her what she wore to bed, she said, I wear Chanel No. 5. And they said, great, and what else? And she said, and Chanel No. 5, and nothing else. And sales skyrocketed by 800%, 900%. It is the equivalent of Beyonce wearing a Telfar bag, or Nicki Minaj wearing a, I don't know, Fendi bag. It will sell out tomorrow because of the power of influencers, which we are going to get into next week for week 3, which I've called Merchandise Queen, spelled with a K. Anyway, so yeah, you were on point with Chanel being extremely depressed, because she really was. the truth is she never got over the love of her life, which was also her financier, Boy Capel. And he literally was the only man that I believe ever really truly loved her. And the truth is he took her from squalor and gave her everything and never asked for anything in return. When he was coming to see her, that's how he actually died. It was a car accident. And I believe his car got wrapped around a tree, right? And I already told you at the Met Museum that that's how the black dress was created, the little black dress, because she was in mourning and needed to still work. And so she created a jersey black dress. And that was how that started. So it's really sad because she never really found happiness. She never had any children, and she really did die alone. But what was interesting about this project was that it was created in-house. So there were a lot of things that they left out. And that's why I was asking you how much you really knew about her, because one interesting thing about Gabrielle Chanel and the atelier of Chanel is that one of their top buyers in terms of racial and ethnic groups are Jewish people. And yet Gabrielle Chanel was a double agent for the Nazis during World War II. Raise your hand if you knew that.
I know she was friends with Hitler.
She was very close with Adolf Hitler. And that is, did you not know that, Rolla?
Gives me another reason why to not like this.
Gives you another reason to be angry, huh?
Add it to the
Period.
list.
Right, add it to the list, child. So, you know, and ironically, Jewish people love Chanel. And this is a fact that the House of Chanel does not hide. But their statements about the brand are that they are ashamed of, you know, some of the history, but that they are moving beyond the past. And despite that, they continue to be probably of all the older ateliers, I would say still the most iconic, because you can't deny the CCs, of course. George.
But how come America discovered her and not France?
So the French are very hard to please because they run the gamut where fashion is concerned. The Americans didn't discover Gabrielle Chanel. She really did become popular in France. However, some of her more avant-garde pieces became a craze in America first. You see, where France is concerned, they run the gamut on fashion, but America runs the gamut on everything, and they are the superpower when it comes to the economy. You see, France has fashion, but America has money. And so at the end of the day, it still really is about consumerism and the almighty dollar. And so you're gonna always cater to who has the money, because that's really what it's about. Once Chanel became lauded in America, it didn't really matter what the French said, because the Americans were going to keep Chanel in real diamonds and real pearls at that point. And so it was what it was. What's interesting about her is the fact that in a lot of her biographies and memoirs that she told herself, she would often lie about her lineage, her family background, and some of the things that she did and places that she came from. The name Coco, she made up herself and gave to herself. It's not a middle name. You know, she came from a very large family. She had siblings, brothers, sisters. You know, she became an orphan at a very young age. She was separated from all of her siblings with the exception of her youngest sister. And, you know, she had a very, very hard life early on. And she learned how to lie